Good morning. I am today going to test the differences between server-side rendering and client-side rendering using NextJS. I've been curious about this for a while. I hear a lot of people say that server-side rendering is significantly faster. I've seen some flowcharts. I've been doing some reading, and I figured I might as well test it out myself to see if there's actually any merit to these claims. I'm sure that I could go Google some benchmarks and stuff, but I figure do it myself, learn a little bit along the way, and bring another video of me struggling to the internet. So we're going to be making a dynamically rendered app in Next.js that's going to utilize the Pokemon public API to show Pokemon by generations and probably filtering by types, just so that we can have a lot of data coming in to make it a heavy load, so that way when we render things on the DOM, we can get a good measurement between what is actually faster. So I took the liberty of doing a little bit of pre-work, I suppose, around, let's see if I can make this bigger. No, that's smaller. Bigger. All right. I did a little bit of pre-work around kind of what this might look like. So I put together a README, though. Let's go through it and make sure, because I don't actually think I need the Redis and Fastify, because Nest.js caches off the bat. So we will still containerize it. Auto restart, that probably comes built in with Nest, I would assume, when you run npm run dev. But we'll see. I'm going to use Google's linting and formatting for TypeScript. For some basic components, we got a home page so that you can switch between the client-side rendering and the server-side rendering. We have some shared presentational components, so the Pokemon card, the filtering and pagination across those. I don't actually know if we're going to do the pagination, but we'll see if we get there. Server-side rendering has the same thing as the client-side rendering, so the Pokemon page, the filtering, the pagination, and error handling, and then conditional logic for data fetching, depending on whether you're server-side or client-side choices. For the server, I did have this set up so that we could cache things, but again, I don't think we need to do that. And I was going to deploy it on Vercel, probably at a free tier, just to test it outside of my own local development. So this is what this is going to look like. And we will start, as you see, I have nothing in here but the README. So we'll start here. So we'll start with a get init, so we can have a get project. Actually, you know what? I think that the latest, okay, yeah, I pulled up the next page for getting started too on Next. So we'll just drop this in there, and it's probably even gonna, it's probably going to drop everything in a folder, but that's okay. We can move it. Yeah, you can install it. Project name, SSR versus CSR. Yes, TypeScript. Yes, ESLint. Yes, Tailwind. Yes, inside a source directory. I'm going to shrink this a little bit. App router. Yes, app router. Turbo packet's fine. Import alias by default. Oh, do I want to customize it? No. Okay. So we're going. And we're installing. Yeah, see, it put it all into its own folder. I wonder, I could just do it with the Finder. I wonder if there's an easy way to do it with the command line, though. Because I want to move everything out of here. Can I mass mark? No, of course not. All right, let's see if this actually works. What is it? BMV? Oh, do I have to be on here? Here? BMV? Oop. I'm way back. Try again. All right. Oh, what did it not take? Oh, it didn't take the README, because this README is the initial Nest.js README. That's fine. We'll take this. We'll actually just put it into this README at the bottom. Yeah, so we have our to-do list. Oh, did I? All right, good enough. So we have our to-do list. Then we have the stuff going on inside. Can you still read this? Okay, I'll blow it up a little more, just in case. All right, so we've got our app. So I need to npm I to install some packages. We already have node modules. Excellent. We've got our environment, which is, we got types, references. This file should not be edited. Solid. Okay, not that one then. ESLint next config shows nothing exciting. ESLint config extend some stuff. Okay, so, and then package JSON shows dev turbo pack. Okay, so what we're going to do here is, see, so usually I would Dockerize it, but it's one app. Well, how about we Dockerize it if we get there, if we actually need to, because we very well may not need to. README. So we'll say we're gonna nix that one for now. We have the project set up. All right. Auto restart. This comes given. Google linting and formatting. All right. So Google ESLint. And maybe I unstaged. Oh, it's literally all there is. That's funny. Okay, so we're gonna add without the $sign and my typo in there. We'll save dev, extends Google in your ESLint config. ESLint compat. Pat equals new. Next TypeScript. Okay. Do we need to import it? Can we just say it extends Google? Okay, we'll take the Google. Take Google's and Nest and we'll mix them together. I have not used Google's linting before. I've read through some of the documents, but I haven't used it. So that'll be new for me. And actually, for the record, Nest is also new for me. Next, sorry. I've been using Nest for a long time. NextJS is new to me. So with that, we have our thing set up. I guess we need to run it, huh? Okay. Let's see. So how do I want to do this? I can, let me grab this, and then can I just pull this out? Oops. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Now we just have this one window in here. So I can make a new one. We're in here. Excellent. And I can say Q scripts. What? There's not a scripts? Scripts. Do I not have JQ? Maybe that's what it is. JQ. I do have JQ. JQ. Scripts. It's not defined at a top level. This is, oh, is it dot scripts? There it is. Oops. Okay. So we've got dev, build, start, lint. So we're going to obviously want dev because we're going to be working here. Yarn dev with a V. Boots it up, runs it, run on 3000. All right, well, it's ready. So we can open this up. See what we got. There, boom. There's our Next.js. Looking good. Okay, so full disclosure, like I said, I actually do not have a lot of Nest experience. By a lot, I mean I've used it maybe once just to like download it and say that I played with it, but like I'm not familiar. And kind of along the same line, I know file-based routing has gotten really sexy lately. A lot of people love to do that, but for me, I haven't used it much. So we're going to play with that too, and I probably need to read up the docs and pull up the docs and see how it goes. But let's see, source app, layout page. Is there like a main? Is there not like a... Okay, so it always starts with the public. Nope. Where's the HTML? We don't even... HTML. We don't even have HTML. Do we have HTML? We don't even have HTML files. Ooh, all right. Getting exciting then. So next dev. All right, well, I guess we'll start here then. Key VS doc could not find valid.js doc plugin @sign. Okay, that's fine, I guess. All right, so we've got some save and see your changes instantly. Save and see. Okay, so I'm on the right page. Save and see our changes instantly. Cool. So if I shrink this down to cover the window, I might need to shrink this down. Ooh, that was a little small. That is hopefully readable. So nice. Hopefully that's readable. I think if you watch it, if you're watching this on a phone, probably not, but well, maybe. But all right, so we've got start by editing source app page. Okay, page. And the layout is root layout, body, class name, children. I'm gonna have to go read about this. Global CSS. We have Tailwind. Cool. Favicon, which isn't gonna render for me. That's fine. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna need to go look up some docs. Excuse me. Let me get some water. Okay, manual installation, create the app directory. All right, this is getting started. Project structure. Okay, top level folders, app pages public, or source app pages, that's fine. Top level files, .env, we don't have environment variables yet. Routing files, here we go. All right, loading, not found error, global endpoint, API endpoint, .route, folder, dynamic routes, folder, dynamic routes, segment, catch all, route groups, private folders, parallel intercepted routes. Interesting. Okay. Metadata, open graph and Twitter images. Curious. SEO, quote hierarchy. Okay, we got some error boundaries, we got some suspense, page. Okay, so it gets into a logical group. Okay, so the error boundary, is that if I just put it in, I assume the error.js just gets rendered as the fallback component for an error boundary, is my assumption. Okay, in a nested route, the parents of a segment want to be nested with the inside components of its parent, right? Yeah, that makes sense, so that everything's collected in folders. Okay. Unopinionated about how you organize and collocate your files. That, apart from folder and file convention, we're unopinionated about how you organize stuff. You can have any color Model T you want as long as it's black, right? Henry Ford. All right, so I'm a big sucker for collocation. Let's see what we got. The app directory nested structures determine the route structure. Each folder represents a route segment that's mapped to a corresponding segment in the URL path. However, even though route structure is defined through folders, a route is not publicly accessible until a page or route is added to the route segment. Oh, that's cool. Okay. So dashboard settings. Oh, okay. Okay. Not findable. API routable, dashboard routable. Okay, private folders. Private folders can be private folders prefixed with underscore. Cool. This indicates that the folder is private. Implementation detail. Yada, yada, yada. Opting the folder in all of its subfolders. Okay, cool. That makes sense. Okay. While not a framework convention, you might also consider marking files outside private folders as private using the same underscore pattern. Create URL segments to start with an underscore prefixing the folder name with %5f as the URL encoded underscore. If you don't use private folders, it would be helpful to know NextJS special file conventions to prevent unexpected naming conflicts. Okay, we'll get into that later if we need it. Route groups. Route groups can be determined by wrapping things in parentheses. Indicates the folder is the folder is for organizational purposes. It should not be included in the route. Oh. Okay. Kind of cool. Grouping things. Enabling nested layouts. Source directory. Separates application code for project configuration. That's fine. I like that way. Common strategies. Following section lists a very high-level overview of common strategies. The simplest takeaway is to choose a strategy that works for you and your team and be consistent. Surprise, surprise. Consistency is the name of the game. I've had many projects where I would come in and then throw in patterns that don't exist yet because I like them better, and then it ends up bloating because now you have two ways to do something instead of one way, and it makes it's not a good practice. So the consistency is actually super, super important unless you're going to do a big lift and shift to cover all that extra tech debt. All right, store project files outside of app. This strategy stores all. So it keeps app keeps the app directory purely for routing purposes. What? So, okay, so we have moved it. There we go. All right, so we have source. I see. Okay, yes, I like that. So we'll do components. Components. Lib. Do we need a lib? This is probably not complex enough to need a library, but okay, I like that idea. Store project files in top-level folders inside of app. Split the files by feature or by route. See, splits them more in application code. Components. See, for me, this would be like, these are app-wide components. This zoom in a little bit. So like these components under app would be app-wide components. They're shared across everything in the app folder. And then the components folder under dashboard would literally just be components for the dashboard that do not get shared outside of the dashboard. So maybe you have like little cool circle graphs or little line charts or whatever. Those aren't needed outside of the dashboard folder. And so they're scoped to just being inside. Okay, that's fine. Okay, cool. So that makes pretty good sense. I'm going to definitely need to reference that top stuff again. All right, so we have an app. So we need to, so if I say app, okay, so we'll make a, where am I? All right, so we need a SSR and we need a page.tsx, right? And if we take this page, it's going to be export default function, man. It's going to get me every time. Export default. What is this? ESLint. Could not find valid JS plugin. Oh, good. That was weird. Moving things around the window. Wait, do we still see okay? Copy. Paste. What are we mad about? Okay. This is a Vim problem. We'll come back. Oh God, no, unusable, literally unusable. Every time I hit space, it does it again. All right, we got to fix this first then. Request text document diagnostic failed with message key rules. I'll just, all right, so if I, holy cow, this is going to be painful. ESLint. All right, so what happens if I strike Google? Because that's really that's the only thing I added. Right, or maybe yet I'll comment that out and then strip Google. Right, quit. Right, quit. Right, no, I don't even need that. Right and quit. Page, SSR, export default page. Oh, look at that. Okay. So it was the Google plugin problem. All right. So default function page hello world. All right. So we've got this hello world in SSR. So in theory, we go localhost /SSR, we get hello world. All right. Ballin'. Cool. That works out pretty nicely. So we'll need an SSR, and we also need a CSR for client side, page TSX. And we'll do the same thing here. Export default function page, hello world. Hello, except we'll say this is CSR. Export helps you spell things right. Default. And this one will be SSR. Okay. All right, so now we have SSR, CSR, beautiful. Okay. Look at us, making progress. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Oh, you gotta figure out how to make API calls in here too. Creating a page. Creating a layout. Layout is UI shared between multiple pages or navigation. On navigation, layouts preserve state, remain interactive, and do not re-render. You can define a layout by default exporting React component from a layout file. The component should accept children prop, which can be another page or another layout. For example, to create a layout that accepts your index page as a child. For example, to create a layout that accepts your index page as a child, add a layout file inside the app directory. We already have a layout inside the app directory. It's here. Okay. Anti-aliased. Okay. So this is the root layout. Okay. That's fine. Creating a nested route. A nested route is a route composed of multiple URL segments. For example, blog slug route is composed of 3 segments. The root segment, the blog segment, and a slug. NextJS folder used to determine the route segments. Files like page and layout are used to create UI. To create a nested route, you can nest folders inside each other. Okay. App, blog. It's fine. This is weird. That's weird. The whole idea of using asynchronous functions in Nest is bizarre, if I do say so myself. But okay, that's fine. I assume it'll work. Okay. You can continue nesting folders to create some nested routes. For example, to create a route for a specific blog post, create a new slug folder inside blog and a page file. Wrapping folders named in square brackets slug creates a special dynamic route segment used to generate multiple pages from data. This can be useful for blog posts, product pages, etc. Okay, so we will use that then for the Pokemon. Yes, for the Pokemon, because I want a page of like a full generation, and then you click it and it's going to pull up a Pokemon card page, I guess. Okay, so, well, do you need breakfast? Did we not feed you breakfast? No, I have to feed my dog. All right, let me before I walk away. Package JSON. I added Google's. Things got moved around. Okay, I want to fix Google before we get too far. But that's fine. CSR, README. Yeah, these are all fine. Did I really just move this? I thought I deleted it. Oh, because some things aren't. Gets me, man. The lack of gets. Case sensitivity. All right, we'll just have a. I'll just drop this in there. I'm gonna go feed my dog. I will be back in just a moment. All right, I'm back. Got some water. Fed my dog. Haven't moved. All right, so we just committed our code for an initial commit. We're looking at root layouts to try to figure out what layouts are going to do for us in terms of these. Because as I imagine, it's going to be like top bar, sidebar, page of Pokemon. We'll say we'll put some, I don't know, some general info in the header bar. The sidebar bar can be filters, and we'll kind of go from there. This isn't exactly, I'm not much of a UX designer at all, in any sense of the word. So my layouts are usually ugly. They're functional over good looking. So whatever, bear with me. Okay, nested layouts. Yes, children. Okay, so we have pages. So we need to use, blog, slug, page. So in our case, it's going to be CSR. I guess then what? Slug, right? Slug, blog slug. Oh, it's just slug. Just the folder slug. And then page TSX. Right, so imagine that's going to be a slug should be a, let's call it a Pokemon slug. I'm assuming it doesn't have to literally be the word slug. I think it's just brackets that designates that it's a slug. So this will be a Pokemon. And in here it'll be page. God, dude, it's going to drive me nuts. Export default function page. Yep. Hello Pokemon. And then this is how do we actually grab data? Children. Oh, that's the layout. That's the layout though. Yeah, layouts are cool, but I want, okay, we got to figure out how to get path parameters. That'll come later. So let's play with this layout for a minute. Okay. So did all my stuff shift over? What? Oh, it did. Look at that. Oh, that's strange. I hate it when that happens. All right. Anyway. Okay. So okay. So the layout is going to take some children. Blog layout. This one's going to be a CSR. It'll just be layout TSX. We'll just drop this in here. So it's not going to be a blog layout. It's going to be a. This is in the SSR folder, right? CSR. It'll be a CSR layout. Do you even need to call it stuff? Like, that's the real question, right? Can you just export default like this? Oh, you have to name it a function. Function export. Okay. Fine. 80. Oh, okay. It's exactly 80 lines. That's why it's not wrapping. That's fine. Okay, so we've got this. We have our children, and then a selection. If you were to combine the two layouts above, the root layout, app layout here, would wrap the blog layout here, which would wrap the blog page, the slug. Linking between pages. You need a link. Okay, so let's do some little interactive things. Okay, we have a link object, which takes an href, post title. Okay, so that means we need some buttons. So we'll go back to this app page, right? And I don't really care about any of this. So we'll just nuke everything in there. We'll take a div, and we're going to say, I don't really need a hello world. I don't really need image, but I want to say I need a button. And it's going to be CSR, and we're going to have, but it's a link. So a link's like a hyperlink, right? That's my understanding of what links end up rendering as. Oh, here we go. Okay, so you can use the use router hook. Okay, so we'll do, yeah, I'll make a buttons. SSR. And then const stuff equals, what was it, use router? We need to import it in the router. Push. Replace. We'll say replace. And then on click. Replace with, what is it, slash CSR. It'll just be slash CSR, right? Slash CSR. CSR? Is this the right one? Yes. Okay, so we can take this and put it there, and we'll replace these with slash SSR. Lowercase. Okay, so now we have something that's mad at us. Import use router. You have a server component that imports the router. Use next navigation instead. Navigation. You're importing a client that needs use router. This React hook only works on the client component. Cool. All right, I guess we can use links, whatever. Link. And the next link is just an href. Href, but it's not a callback function. It's just a string. Yep. Whoop. Come on. All right, so we'll take that out, take that out, take those out, take that out, shrink this up, shrink that up. Okay, so we'll take this and we'll replace all that. And this is going to be a link, and then this will be SSR. And we'll take this out. Cool, solid buttons that are right next to each other, but they're functional. All right, good enough. So these could be, it'd be weird to have it inside a button. Does literally nothing, huh? They're just, okay. So class name, I feel like there's got to be a button. Let's see. Does NextJS is not a UI library, right? NextJS UI. Oh. Next UI. Is this the same? Pre-configured. Yeah, see. Next UI providers. And the root layout. Manual installation. Do I care? It'd probably go a little faster, but the reality is I think we can just use like ChatGPT to make this easy. So we'll say, let me make this bigger again so we can all read it. All right. So give me TailwindCSS class for styling a NextJS link so that it looks professional. Boom. Oh, I see. Boom. How'd we do? Oh, yes, professional just gives me... Okay, well... all right. That's fine. I mean, so do you usually wrap link components with a container so that it has padding, margin, etc.? Yeah, see, that's what I thought. Oh, it's in the div. I mean, okay. Right, now we have a fancy one. It's got a button. But this, if you look at the styling of it, see, it's huge. But this doesn't click stuff, and that drives me nuts. When you have a big button on your page, but you can't click the big button, irksome. Irksome, I say. Okay, can we make it so that the div will trigger the link when clicked? See, now we're back to using routers. I don't think I care enough. I do not care anymore. VS can be ugly. We'll take this and I'll replace, nope. Paste, copy that, paste it here. It's gonna be SSR. All right, server-side rendering, still ugly. Give me like a class name, text blue. Give me like a, oh, I see. What is that? Padding? Padding 2. P2. All right, there we go. So we have our CSR and SSR. Okay, so we've got a page. Let's do something with this layout, right? So if I said div, and I put the children in the div, and I said class name equals BG red, right? What are we doing? Is it BG red? Okay, so it's just wrapping the children. Okay, so this can, I mean, realistically, like that could be the, that could be like the header bar, right? So the page, but the page, I'm not sure how to do that yet. We'll see. Okay, so CSR page, hello CSR. Then we're gonna need a link button Sure, that's fine. I can go to Pikachu, but I also want it to go to just home. Oh, Pikachu. This will be home. All right, so we go to CSR. It takes us to Pikachu. Takes us hello Pokemon, hello CSR. Go back to home. All right, we got some basic, super basic navigating going on. Page. All right, hello Pokemon. This is gonna have some kind of props, and I want to know what's in it. Console log props. Let's see what we got. Console. Is he gonna get mad at me for it? CSR Pikachu. We got some promises. Search params is a promise. Params is a promise. Search params is a promise. So this is gonna be params. Right. Params. Press equals await params console log response. Yeah, we didn't like that, did we? Oh no, I pissed you off. Export default async function. Stick that in your juice box and suck on it. Let's see. Ah, okay, so the slug that does come in is the Pikachu. Okay, all right. So, I see. So the name of the slug, PKMN. That's fine. PKMN Pokemon. I guess await params. Hello. Params dot PKMN. Yes, I know that. How about something like that? All right, we're mad. Access storage is not allowed. Server error. Should have been awaited before using its properties. Await params. Yeah. Okay. We'll have to come back to that because it's obviously upset that I did that. Await. All right. Well, maybe this way. Props. Await props. Const. Pokemon equals await. That looks so dumb. Await. But if it's awaited there, does it not awaited here? So you say, ooh, God. Oh, God. Hello, Pokemon. Are we still mad? We are still mad. Should be awaited before using its awaited property. Learn more. Dynamic APIs are asynchronous. Params. Yes. Possible ways to fix it. Await params. Literally just, okay, that's fine, I guess. So const pk equals await params pkmn. You see, it says nothing, but if I refresh this, now we're happy. Yeah. I would assume that this has nothing. I guess it's a promise. Params does not exist on. It is a, how do you type that? NextJS type dynamic slug params. Let's see how we type this. How are we over? All right, let's see. Not what I wanted. Okay. That's fine, I guess. So we got Pikachu. All right, it's working. Yeah. ESLint disable next line. Is that at TS ignore? Not a TypeScript error. What kind of error are you? Whose error are you? It's fine. All right. CSS and styling, Tailwind. I already have a Tailwind installed. Yeah. Tailwind's utility classes in your application. Good. All right. Well, I can already do that. All right. I'm not using Sass and stuff. All right. Anyway, what are we even trying to do? So we have Pikachu. We've got CSR and SSR. So we need some basic stuff. Let's figure out how to make an API call, I guess. API reference. API reference. Components? No. I guess, I mean, there will be images in there, but how to fetch data in stream. Here we go. Okay, so we've got this page. Gotta do stuff. Okay, so I guess this works because this is server side, right? So it's essentially Node.js code that gets executed and then rendered and served to the front end client, right? So that's why it's gonna functionally work. So we should be able to say, all right, so let's hit the Pokemon API. I guess I'll do it here. Pokemon API. All right, Pokemon API. V2, but I wanted to. I think I can do page Pokemon CSR page home. I don't. Okay, hello CSR, that can come out. We can say we can have a const Pokemon, or maybe const generation generation equals wait fetch from. Wow, look at that. It's like it knows. Data, export default async function. We're going to say data, Pokemon, species map, Pokemon, boom. Pokemon name, give me the closing link. What are you mad about? I'm missing an extra parenthesis. Missing key. Pokemon is any type. I'm not gonna type a Pokemon. Let's see what we got. These are not it. Oh, okay, look. Sweet. Bunch of Pokemon. Ballin'. Okay, so we have Pokemon. Excellent. What do we get? So if we look at the, try it now, V2, birds, games, machine, is it games? Generation, endpoints, movies, names, Pokemon, species, types. What did this come out as? Pokemon species. Pokemon species. Bulbasaur and a URL for the Pokemon. If we hit this, what do I get? I get the information of the character. Okay. Cool. So get the generation. All right, so we've got a generation Pokemon. We'll just say for now it has a name, which is string. I guess it's, what is it? Name, generation, species, has a name and a URL. Okay. So we've got our big ass list of Pokemon. Obviously it doesn't look good, but if we click one, it'll say hello Gyarados or Charmander or what have you. Good enough. So I want to make these cards instead of just links on a page. Let's see. So how do we do this in Nest? Because in normal React, you just make a card and you use does it need to become client-side rendered to do that? Because I want a button that's just going to navigate NextJS server-side. I guess I'm technically in the client-side rendering right now. So I don't really care too much, actually. And I need to go back and fix these because it's not going to be... Oh, well, there's probably my problem anyway. So because this is... I think this inherently says use client. Is that what it is? How do you... Whoops. Let's see. Client fetching data. Okay. Client components. There are two ways to fetch data in a client component using SWR, React use hook, or React query. So you can use React query. Interesting. Okay. Okay. So maybe I need to, do I need to move these down into the SSR? We do the SSR first. Yeah, all of this is server-side rendering. All of it. What is this? Just hello SSR? I think I just move it all. And I delete. Page. Yeah. So I need to rename this page CSR. That's fine. Move. Mark. All right. We got those a little backwards, but that's fine. We've got stuff moved to the correct places now. All right. Okay, so we've got our Pokemon, we've got our page. If we go back to here, we have the server-side rendering, which gives us all the names. So many names. Why does that wrap like that? That's so bizarre. All right. So we're doing server-side rendering. So we want there are components. I guess we can make like a card. Because I was under the impression, like I was doing some reading and like it was talking about the presentational components can be reused across server-side rendering and client-side rendering. And so, let's see, mutating data error handling. It's weird to me. I guess you just need to know, like, how do you keep track of that, right? Like of the. All right, we're doing server-side rendering first. Getting my wires crossed. So I want I guess it goes in the so we have a Pokemon. So this will be const card equals this stuff, and it's going to take a Pokemon, which is a, here, maybe do it, name URL, right, and it's going to return div, we'll say class name, margin 2, padding 2, box, border. Look at all these border things. Border, black. And it's just gonna say name. We'll have the name is deprecated. Oh, Pokemon.name. Pokemon.url. And this actually, yeah, we'll leave that there. So this, instead of a link, but we want, I guess the name could still be a link, right? So this could still be a link. And this, instead of being a link, will then be a card, which takes the Pokemon. What are you mad about? Is not assignable to type, missing a key prop. Oh, key Pokemon name. Pokemon, what are you mad at? String, name URL. Pokemon does not exist on. Is this some special card? Why is this weird? Yeah, it's my card. Pokemon. Oh. Right. There we go. Named objects. Woo. All right. So if we go back and look at our thing, okay, much better. We've got this big old list. What are you? Static route. Okay. Yeah, what kind of weird ass order are these in, yo? Data, wait. Data. Oh, okay. I'm surprised that really, if you just get this, hold on. If you just get this, is it like C equals or something, right? No. GX. There it is. Moves. What is all this? There should have been the generation 1. Abilities, ID, types, Pokemon species, 151. Oh, they're not in order. Or, yeah, because it should be the starters. Is that the order? Hold on. I don't want to watch the show. Pokemon, not the watch order. I don't want the series. Pokédex order. Honestly, some things. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. You have all your starters first. Okay, so that's fine. Being a little difficult, but whatever. Okay, so we've got our static route. So we've got our big old list of dudes. I want, and then when you click on one, oh, it's because it should go to SSR Weedle, not CSR. My bad. Go back. Hello, Bulbasaur. Okay. Quick break. Be right back. All right. Back. So I just had to switch up a few things. Alrighty. So we've got our Hello Bulbasaur. Starting here. SSR. Big old list of Pokemon. In definitely the wrong order. So, and I guess actually I want to see, because the API asks that you cache things. So if I refresh this and I say all, oh, it did cache it. Excellent. Okay, I'm not trying to get in trouble with the Pokemon API. Okay, so big old list of Pokemon. Not in the right order. So I guess if it's server-side generated, then you don't actually need, right, data.pokemonspecies.sort. If you put it in here, like, does this still count as a P A dot name? Oh, it's not even the name. It's the last letter of the slash. So it's a. All right. Type Pokemon URL string. Pokemon with an O. I'm struggling today. Pokemon. So this is going to be a Pokemon. This is going to be a Pokemon. So it's going to be a dot URL dot index. What is it? I want to get the last number out of the Pokemon URL, which is found as the last URL param. Wow, look at that. The last number. Really? Okay, so we're going to say last number. Hey, look at that. It's going to return a string. Parse int undefined. Do I care? Parse int. This is going to return the last string or undefined. Okay, now we're just doing strings. Holy cow. All right, now we are in order. Okay. That's what I wanted. Good. Let's see. We've got our card, we've got our Pokemon. But I want to do more than this, right? I want to be able to visualize the card. So does a card can this be asynchronous too? And you say yeah. Pokemon API. Give me that ditto info. Give me that. I don't want his cries, forums. Give me the pictures. I want a picture. Hit me with the picture, please. I don't care about abilities, not his cries, his forms. Ditto has different forms? What does that even mean? Ditto's a URL species sprites. That was it. Sprites. Moves species sprites. Back default, front default is probably what we want. So const image URL equals data dot sprites front default. Look at that. It's like it new. Okay, so we've got a link. We got a div. We want to add a Pokemon URL. I don't really care about the URL itself, but I want to add an image out of. See, I know that next, there it is. Next has an image. Boom. And now, we're mad. Cannot read properties undefined reading front default. Sprites. Data sprites front default. Front default. This one. Yeah. All right, that's what I expected. Okay. Two errors. Good. Empty string was passed to the source attribute. Wait response JSON. Do you species map? See, and this is where it gets weird, right? Like I would in a normal React app, this is a straight ahead process of fetching data kind of in like a waterfall style. But here, and maybe we we'll take the first 10 just to be nice to the Pokemon API if we keep repeatedly hitting it. How can you make, so can only pages be asynchronous? That's kind of my question. Can you have nested async components for SSR and NextJS? You can have nested async components, but you need to be careful how you handle asynchronous data fetching. Here's an example. Generation data. A single page component fetches the generation data and maps to the Pokemon species to render the Pokemon. Each Pokemon component renders additional data. How is that different than what I currently have? Most efficient way to handle data fetching in NextJS, you may consider fetching all necessary data in the page component and passing it down to child components to avoid multiple network requests. What's different? Wait. Fetch Pokemon URL, fetch JSON, sprites default. This looks the same to me, if I'm gonna be honest. Did any Okay, so we're now using routers. The addition of the on-click event handler in the div of the PokeCard component. Now, what? I mean, yes, but okay, so it's actually not different, is what I got. Like, functionally, it's the same. Thanks, ChatGPT. Or that's Copilot. Thanks, Copilot. Very helpful. Can you? I guess you can't await things inside of a map. NextJS. I got a little bigger too. Let's see. NextJS nested async SSR components. As a child. Here we go. Move your async code into get server-side props function. Next 13 from use. Get quotes. Interesting. Okay. Do these need to be? I guess we'll move this into the components. Right. We'll say it's a Pokemon card TSX. Right. We'll take this and we'll drop it here. Export. Is this also going to be a default? I'll keep it as this for now. The link come in. We have okay, we now have Pokemon card in its own folder. We have a Pokemon card folder. And this wants us to do a use import use from not TypeScript, React. And then we have a function const get Pokemon image. Yeah. And then we'll say const image URL equals use. Does use have? Yeah, I didn't think so. Ooh. Hook use. Okay, it's actually not async anymore though. From React. Ooh, we are not happy about this. Differs from already included file name. Oh. Lowercase React. Right. Okay. So now, where did I just? I did just close that. All right. Localhost 3000. Pull this apart. Split half the screen. There-ish. All right. SSR. 3 errors. Or mad. String is past the attribute. May cause the whole page to be a minute. Fix this. Do not remember pass null to source instead of an empty string. Or null. Happy about that? No. Empty string was passed to the source attribute. I don't think it's going to change anything. It doesn't. Okay. Pokemon. Not crazy yet. Getting there though. Let's see. I don't quite know why this is. Don't really know why we're failing here. We want to get. Do you need to go outside now? Yeah? All right. I gotta let my dog out. One moment. All right. I'm back after letting my dog out. So, where were we? Pokemon card trying to fetch data. Okay. So, does this need to be a client-side piece of it? Like, I don't have a good mental model for what can be client-side versus what can be server-side. Let's see. NextJS, what can be client-side versus what can be server-side? Client-side refers to the... Client-side examples, displaying stuff, user input, validating data, server-side, authentication, retrieving data, managing user sessions, and business logic, file uploads and downloads. What does Reddit have to say? I think more is use hydrate. Is it use client like this? And you refresh this. Server side. Server side straight up doesn't work. I click it and nothing happens. Page. Link SSR goes to SSR. SSR page. Pokemon card, border black, BG white. Why is there nothing here? Just curious. Something else in the console? Access to storage is not allowed from this context. SSR. Like it doesn't even like navigate, which is strange. NextJS do shared components need to client. Sure, the presentation fetches data on the server. Oh, okay. So we have Pokemon cards, and we want the cards to be, I don't know, I guess we can set width and height, right? Width 40 pixels wide. Width 10, height, we want 80, so what's that, 20? Hot, no. How high does this go? 30? Ooh. 36? What is this, 3/4? Oh, interesting. 3/12? Wow, these are like some weird ass 3/12, and then 1/2. 3/12 is a quarter, right? 1/2 height. But is it half the height of the Pokemon card component itself? How far down do you go? Oh, you go pretty far. Okay, so we could do height 80 and width 40. Make them is that, there's no way. There's no way. Why do these look so funky? 80 is 320. 320 over 2 is 16/160. Yeah. But is it a 3:2 ratio though? Yeah, it looks a little better. Okay. We got our Pokemon cards kind of coming in. Border radius, BR, border radius, radius. I guess we'll get there. Let's fix some other stuff before we start getting into styling. And this is why I do functional over presentation, right? Because it's got to work in order for, you want to have all the elements functional before you start putting them on the page, even if you know what it's going to look like ahead of time. All right, so we can take the Pokemon name and say Pokemon name to uppercase, right? We can, oh, that's the key. Whoops. Name dot to upper. Oh, okay. This is where I'd use Lodash. Without Lodash, it's gonna be like slice. There it goes. Yeah. That's dumb. Const case name equals. Wow, that didn't work. Name. Okay. All right, so we've got image is missing required source property. Yeah, I don't know why. Like I would have expected use. Let's see, console log. I don't think we're going to see any data in here. Oh, we are. Look at that. Data. But there's no sprites. Well, now I'm just confused. All right, so we take Pokemon. Come on, don't do me like that. Network. A bunch of next, okay, stuff I don't really care about. Evolve form, evolution chain, color. What is this color URL? Red? Oh, it's all a red Pokemon or something? How about growth generation? Genera? Oh, okay. Names, Pokedex, shape, varieties. I got a lot of data in here. Pal Park encounters. Growth rate generation. Color. So there's just no. All right. So if I. Okay. So we go. Hit me with the generation. /generation. Right. It's gonna give me a Pokemon species and a name. Pokemon species 1. Not PNG. Yeah, not here. Interesting. So I actually don't care. So this is the species, but I don't care about the species. I want the Pokemon. So it's going to be the URL. That's what it was. Okay. Oh, okay. So it's URL Pokemon name. That would be the problem. So this then is fetch name. Yes, like this. And then Pokemon name, like this. All right. Ooh, we are mad about something. Raw GitHub user content is not configured under your images in NextJS. Okay. Configured. Unconfigured host. Why this occurs? One of your pages that is past source file. The images remote patterns. Oh. It's kind of cool. Remote patterns. Okay, so we need to configure nest to allow it to look at it. Nest. Next. I'm going to be doing that all day long. All right, it's called images remote patterns. Images remote patterns. How much of that do I actually need? Host name is raw GitHub user content. Host name is not one of them. What is it? Host name. Is it not? Host name. Images, remote patterns. Oh, it's an array. That's why. All right. Now we have it. So localhost refused to connect. Well, ain't that a thing? Really? What? Did we like break? Oh, it broke. All right. Yarn dev. It's ready. Loading. SSR. Hey. All right. This looks like a lot more than 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so it's that use effect reload, probably. But that's a client-side thing? I don't know how you'd fetch it twice. It's kind of strange, but I digress because we have it. All right, so we have our Pokemon. So actually, if we look at a Pokemon card, images, what does a Pokemon card look like? All right, throwback. So we've got got a border, some other stuff. We got some padding around the, okay. So let's see if we can actually make it look something like a Pokemon card, right? So we'll go to the Pokemon card and we'll say, let's, this is a good place to commit because we haven't committed in a hot minute. Let's see, added remote patterns, yes. Updated for links, Pokemon for dynamic SSR, SSR layout, page to fetch, display Pokemon data, or display individual Pokemon cards. Cool, write and quit. All right, so this is our Pokemon card. So we've got a name. Okay, so we've got a, let's see, so we want a, so we have a container div, then we want a, so let's see, it's going to be a margin 2, or is that just a fat border? So you could either div it and div inside of a div, or you could just give one div a fat border. So let's say border width, border W. I don't know, Tailwind border width. No, it's just border 8 pixels. Oh, but of course it's black, so you can't tell it. But the Pokemon has abilities, cries, forms, items, moves, species. Because the species had a color to it, right? Color purple. We go here. These are all the purple Pokemon, I guess. Okay. I mean, you could make like a, right? You could make a chart. Let's see, border yellow. Right. So if we give it a yellow border, the border, we need a border radius. Tailwind border radius, border radius. No, I'm not crazy. Border radius. Border. Oh, it's rounded. Rounded. EST. What is all that? Rounded. Just rounded. It should be fine. Right. We want our image to be a little bigger. Width. We want it centered in the div. Name, flex, center. Wait, center items, justify, center. Boom. Okay. Okay, where's my Pokemon card picture? Was that in the other one? Pokemon card image. Okay, Pokemon picture in the middle. Got some text underneath it, but honestly that's fine for now because I'm not trying to do anything too crazy, and all this is just reading data off the API anyway. So the biggest parts were getting getting the extra calls for the data sprites front shiny. That's not where I meant to paste that. Oh, shiny. Ooh. All right. Bulbasaur. Okay. So that's... Oh, it's literally just printing it. Okay. That's fine. All right. So I'm not going to log the data anymore. Okay. Let's see if we can use this router, because I would love to be able to not just click. I want to be able to click the whole thing and not just the person, right? Because we're going to go to click Ivysaur. Hello, Ivysaur. So this is static route. Click it. Still a static route. Okay. Card. Let's see what else we have. Moves. Tackle. Moves. Entries, generation, learned by the Pokemon, meta, damage, past name, past values. So you could add some moves in there too, I guess, right? And display the damages to make things a little bit more interesting. Dude has so many moves, has been omitted. What does that say? Oh, that's funny. That's fine. War Turtle. Goodness, dude's got a lot of moves. Holy cow. Alright. We're going to the top. Who's moves? 86 moves. That's so many. Razor Wind. Move URL. Learned at level 0. These are all... Why are they all learned at level 0? Oh, cut. Okay, well that's an HM. Bind. Headbutt. Still learned at level 0. Growl. Are all these going to be... Oh, no. Okay, there are some. So you could do some complex filtering on here, right? To display the moves that are only done at a given level. I'm not terribly interested in getting that deep into it, to be completely frank. Oh, the home should probably be at the top, shouldn't it? Let's put that home back at the top. So this is the SSR page. We'll take this home link and drop it at the top. What are you doing? right? So now when we go into the SSR, we have home at the top. So we have SSR. I believe this is server-side rendering because we're using server components. So based on just this, let's see, because we're now what, an hour and 40 minutes into this, been a little painful. But let's see if we can get some clocks going on here to time this, right? So we've got our page. This has not been terribly exciting. I will commit. Let's see. Yeah. Console. Yep. Yep. Okay. So we want to start. Let's see if does Next have any opinions about global state, or do we get to bring our own state? Let's talk about state in general. Mutating, streaming, parallel routes, middleware, authentication, migrating. Do we not care? We get to bring our own. Client operations. Rendering. I don't see anything about state, which strikes me as a little strange. I didn't even look at templates. See, I think the reality is like Next is actually super powerful if you're going to get into the weeds with it. But for a first demonstration of me playing with it, and we are using React 19. We are on React 19. Okay, so we have all the fancy new stuff. All right. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Okay. So we have this. I think this can be used on the client or in the server. So let's see if we can do this on the CSR side. Right, we're gonna need the same. Oh, we don't have a Pokemon. I guess here we could say hello Pokemon and then render a PokeCard. And I guess the PokeCard really only needs not even the URL, it just needs the name. All right. We could do it this way. And now when we go to our SSR, click Bulbasaur, we'll have the thing. And probably want a back button in there. Link href sar. Is that the only thing you needed in there? Link back, like that. Oh yeah, but it doesn't have a fancy coloring on it, but that's fine. Okay. Bulbasaur. Hello, Bulbasaur. All right, good enough. We're gonna take the hello out. That's not doing anything. All right, so we've got our Pokemon card, got our Pokemon page. We have a layout which doesn't do anything. So this, I believe, is going to wrap all of the children, right? So if we instead returned like a div with a class name, background red, 300. Yeah, so it's because it wraps everything. Right, that makes sense. Okay. So, because in theory, in the app one, you could have layout, class body. The body has stuff, so you could have like a head. Do I actually want like a literal header component? Div, we'll say, no, I don't want to dangerously set stuff. Get that shit out of here. P or H1 Pokemon demo. Right. I do this and it's going to say, right, it's not going to break stuff. But we don't have Pokemon demo. Pokemon H1 class name white text white. Black background. Okay, so it is there. And so this is the root layout. The page, why is that? Oh, because these, oh, okay, so if I go to SSR, oh, it dips. Is that because? But I thought the layout was supposed to render inside the other layouts. I thought it was supposed to be nested sets of layouts. Building your application. Rendering, no. Optimizing, testing, configuring. Layouts and pages. Read this again. Creating a layout. Shared between multiple pages on navigation. You can define a layout by rendering it in the layout file. It should accept a child. It should be another page or layout. For example, create a layout that accepts the index page as a child, add a layout file inside the app directory. I'm pretty sure that's what we have. Right. Closing that. Yeah. Layout. TSX. Not crazy. Okay. Yep. Layout UI. Place children where you want to render a page on a nested layout. Is it because of... Do I need to... Should I add like the HTML header head? Does that make any difference at all? Pokemon demo. 2 errors. Solid. Div can't be a nested child of HTML. Really? Div cannot be a child of HTML. Cause a hydration error. I did not know that. 1 error. H1 can't be a child of head. So I guess head is the wrong move. 2 errors. Oh, because we're still rendering HTML. It keeps flipping. What's with that? 2 errors. H1 can't be a child. So is that why it needs to be a section or something? Are we happy now? No. Section cannot be a child of HTML. A server client branch of window doesn't equal defined. So how do you end up putting? You'll see my HTML knowledge is quite lacking, which I'm not embarrassed about. I spent a long time actively avoiding HTML and CSS. We have a body, main, right? Body, main with the children, and then H1, one demo, class name, text, white. How mad are we? Not mad, and it's at the top, and it stayed at the top. So I just didn't do it right the first time. That's fine. Okay, cool. So we have our header. All right, and I can put that in a div, and the div can be a, right, so this could be like a class name, flex grow, flex1, right, and I can say put these in there, put 2 in there. I save it. Yeah, Pokemon demo, Pokemon demo. We're gonna have what is that? It's like the gap. Gap. Column gap. Column grid. Tail. I gotta remember. I can just ask ChatGPT or ask it. Copilot. Tailwind gap. See, it always gives so much answer. Gap. I think I can just take all of it, honestly. Oh, we don't like some stuff in here. Link. Oh, look at that. It actually like threw up a real app too. Hot damn. Sometimes it doesn't suck ass. About, so I don't have any of this. None of that actually exists. Okay, so we don't need any of this shit. Get that out. My app. This will be Pokemon demo. Yeah, I don't have an about page. Pokemon demo. I don't really need a footer. Pokemon demo. So if I do this now. All right, good enough. Okay, Pokemon demo. We have our cards. They're rendering. Not pretty, but functional. I don't need your comment. Thank you. Okay. Header. That's everything, the head and the header. I understand. All right. Okay. SSR. Loading stuff. Let's get a time. All right. So let's get a timer. We have, I don't need that. What is this? Oh yeah, just change the name. Yeah. All right. So, demo. We're going to do client-side rendering. For client-side rendering, it said you can use stuff like tan-stack query for the client. So I'm just going to say this is use client. All right, so it knows that it's on the client side. CSR, I'm going to click it. Hello, CSR. This is still a static route. That's fine. So we need to go grab tan-stack query. npm at tan-stack query react query. Excellent. Okay, so we can, I guess I'll call that, so it's got to go around everything, right? So I guess I can just say HTTP and say query client TS export const query client equals new query client. Yep, easy. Okay. And then in the app under I guess you only need it in the CSR, right? Like in here. So if we took the layout TSX export default function layout. I don't care about most of this, so we're just going to return query client provider. Client is the query client. And we're going to say children like this. Right. Duplicate function implementation. Export default function layout. CSR layout. Happy now? Duplicate function implementation. Return. Okay. What does our other layout have? Okay, we're going to return a React query client provider, client query client, children, close the query client provider. What are you mad about? Declaration or statement expected? Do you want me to return a section? If I can spell it right? Export default function. Only plain objects and people. Client runs. Is it a client? Oh, okay. So does everything like in this like whole stack need to now be like client stuff? So if we went into CSR, we'll say, fine. See, but it's not, you can make folders that aren't product structure. What are the folders that don't get shown? Routing files. Nested routes, dynamic routes, route groups, and private folders. Yeah. So if we do underscore APIs, Pokemon TSX, right? We could say export const use get Pokemon generation number. We're going to give it default 1. We're going to say return use query Pokemon generation async. Boom, it's like it knows. Excellent. Okay. Return use query Pokemon query key query function. We're happy now. Use get Pokemon generation. And actually response.json const data equals response.json, and then const sorted equals, I gotta go grab that other one. What was that? SSR. Oh, it's gonna take me a minute. This one, last number. Sorted equals data dot sort. I want to grab my types. Last number, that's fine. Return sorted slice 0 out of 10. Okay, I actually want to grab Pokemon type Pokemon here. Pokemon, grab that type. So you can say that these are, can you type fetch? Is fetch a generic type? No, why would fetch be generic? That'd be easy. All right, response.json as promise Pokemon array as Pokemon array Pokemon, oh, data species Pokemon sort expected any. I'll change it to Pokemon. There's also Pokemon. Okay, goodness, that was all right. So that's good. We've got this. We're gonna use the generation. Okay, so then in the page, I want to say const data equals use get Pokemon generation, and then we want to say loading, and if is loading return div loading, right? Otherwise you're going to return data.map Pokemon return Pokecard key Pokemon name. What is this one again? Pokemon. Data is possibly undefined. It's fine. Okay, so this is server-side rendering. How mad are we? And wait, async await is not supported in client components. You only use server components. This, but the Pokemon card. Okay, all right. Being a pain. Do I need a different Pokemon? Do I have to use like copy paste Pokemon card CSR. And we'll say use client, and we'll say Pokemon export const use get Pokemon image. Okay, done. So that's going away. We're gonna say data image image URL equals use get Pokemon image Pokemon name. Okay, we're not using use. Hey, look, stuff showed up. Okay, so we now have these. SSR. Oh, SSR is now mad. Oh, did I do the wrong one? I did. Shoot. Oh, dang it. Alright, it's fine. This will just be Pokemon card. And this will be Pokemon card. Client side rendering. And then Pokemon. You know, I could just rename them Pokecard CSR. Wait. Yes. Honestly? Really though? Like so if you're going to render a bunch of stuff, you don't necessarily this is something that I get kind of mixed up into React, is like there's a balance between where do you get your business logic and where do you host like stateful things. Because in this case, every Pokemon card is making its own API call to get the image. So would it be better to prefetch the image and just send it, make the Pokemon card dumb? Maybe. 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 All right. All right, so we're still mad. Hello CSR, Pokemon CSR, and this one page is going to the normal Pokemon card, which is use. Oh, whoops. It's not using the client. This one, use client. Okay. All right, so we now have both. Right, we're rendering both coming in. Everybody's happy. I don't really like that we have multiple components. That's kind of a drag. Because I mean, it's in some respects it's nice that the Pokemon card is a self-contained unit. Because like if it's querying the Pokemon data, so then you can go in and mutate the Pokemon data as you go. But in a broader sense, at what point do you have it render its own stuff? That's a good question. I've been kind of going back and forth on that for a while. All right, so we've got some CSR, get Pokemon image. That's all it does, though. Yeah, because right now it's only just the image. So we're fetching it. Like, all right. Let's commit this. Well, because it's all even now. State query hooks, query client provider, Pokemon data, and maybe the answer is you do it this way, right? So you have Pokemon card. Because ideally you have a Pokemon card that is a dumb component, right? And so I think I feel like let's try something out, right? So we've got this. Oh, okay, I missed something. So Pokemon is going to have a name, a string, and a image URL, which is also going to be a string. And it's not going to do this. And we're not going to get the Pokemon image URL, Pokemon.image URL, right? Or maybe it just has, right? We'll take out some extra props here. Name string, not name string, name image URL, duplicate identifier name. This formatted name. All right, so we have a Pokemon card. Right, that's just a dumb Pokemon card. And the Pokemon card is going to, so the Pokemon card is just going to return It is just called PokeCard, right? I'm not crazy. PokeCard. PokeCard. So this is now just gonna return PokeCard, right, with a PokeCard. The name. Really? You're not gonna give it to me? What do I pay you for, Copilot? Pokemon dot. Oh, Pokemon name, image URL. Not even. Where do you? Oh. Oh. Oh, I see. Oh, that's gonna be awkward. URL equals image URL, right? Pokemon card, SSR, and we'll do these. We'll make these naming more consistent. Pokemon card, CSR and SSR, Poke components, CSR, and it's the same idea, right? So it's going to be just return PokeCard name equals Pokemon name and image URL equals image URL. Right. And at this point, okay, so right, and okay, so now we're using a CSR and an SSR just to fetch data differently, because that's better, right? And the Pokemon card base is doing the logic and is a dumb component, right? It doesn't fetch anything, it formats a name, it displays it. That's fine. So that means these, the pages for this poke card, Pokemon, where are we? This is SSR. PokeCard SSR. Was that the only one that was mad? Page, CSR, page, yep. PokeCard SSR. Okay, everybody's happy? Everybody's happy? All right, let's look at our fail to compile. Solid. Where is this? Pokemon page. That's fine. Wait. Oh, no, down here in this page. This is SSR, so we'll say PokeCard SSR, and we'll nuke that. And this doesn't come out of Pokemon card. It comes out of Pokemon card SSR. Like so. And now CSR, 3 errors. Good. Empty string as a source attribute. Okay. Server-side rendering. 3 errors. See, okay, so I don't know if this... Okay, go away. Go away. Home. CSR. We're happy. I don't have a back button. CSR. SSR. Oh, so maybe that was an old one. Okay, so we've got... Okay, so... All right, not crazy. That's much better. This makes my sanity happy. But I don't feel like, just because we're using use, like use can be used client side. So it makes me not like, is the use client what's making it client side versus server side? Because I know there's like a get static props. Get static props. I don't necessarily want to see the OpenTelemetry stuff, but let me. Okay, I don't care about OpenTelemetry right now. Get static props. Static site generation. Deploying route segments, redirects. Get server-side props. Get server pages. Get server-side props. Hey, okay. Fetch data and render. Get server-side props is a NextJS function that can be used to render and fetch data and render the contents of a page at request time. So you can use get server-side props by exporting a page component. The example below shows that you can fetch data from a third-party API in get server-side props and pass the data into the page as props. So this is what I expected. Server-side props. And so instead of use, let's do it this way. So we need this stuff. It was so clean. Hold on. Let me. Do we really change all this stuff? I guess we did. Okay. So let's commit this because it's pretty now, even if it's not necessarily what we exactly wanted. It's really just a rename. Did it Malcolm as an add and delete? Oh, it did. Whatever. That's fine. Generally, I prefer renaming over deleting because if you rename, you keep all the history. All right. So we need this. We'll need all of this. So we're going to go into the server-side page layout. No, hold on. What is this? So all right, let's make some room. We'll drop this in there. All right, so we have a type pokey. We'll rename it from Rego to pokey, P-O-K, Pokemon has a name, and Stargater's count is now a URL, which is a string. Fetch data from fetch JSON. Look at that. That's the same. Okay. Return props. Repo. So this is just the image URL. It's not all of the data. So we're going to have to do this again inside of the SSR page, I assume. Image URL. Const image image URL equals this. We're not returning it. Satisfies. Okay, and then this goes away, right? And then this, instead of use, it's going to just be, oh God, that's such a long name. All right, so it's going to be Pokemon, but that's the type, yes. And then, so instead of this, repo. So it's still going to have so this is just the Pokemon. It's going to be the name string and this. Oh, but this needs a name in order to do it. That's going to be tricky. That's going to be tricky. let's see. So get server-side props. It's an async function. How do you pass when to use it? If you need to render a page that relies on personalized user data information that can only be known at request time, for example, authorization headers or geolocation, if you do not need to fetch the data at request time or would prefer to cache the data in a pre-rendered HTML, we recommend to get static props. Context. What is the context? Note that the introspective rendering of any type, any props will be passed to the page component and be viewed. Irrespective of rendering type, any props will be passed to the page component and can be viewed on the client side. It allows things to be hydrated. Don't pass sensitive information. The data is required to render. The data required to render the page is available at build time ahead of the user's request. So that would be true for the generation, like get the whole generation of Pokemon, right? Because that doesn't matter on the user. It doesn't matter about the user, right? If you get static props. When does get static props run? Build. Fetch it from a CMS. Okay. All right, so I guess. Okay, so we need to get static props on this page, right? No, this page. This is where get static props will happen, right? Repo, get static props. Let's see. Pokemon. For default function page. Okay. Pokemon, get static props. Take that out. Oh god, that wasn't it. Pokemon is valid but never used. It's any, but it should. Oh, Pokemon satisfies get static props. Data. Wait. Data.Pokemon species satisfies Pokemon array. Wait. So then, const Pokemon equals repo.Pokemon species. Pokemon. Yes. We have any. Pokemon. Wait. Repo. Props is the repo. The repo has Stargazer's count on it. Right. So in this case, satisfies Pokemon. Context. Curious what's on the context, but we'll ignore it for now. Get static props is not a valid NextJS entry value. Export default function page key Pokemon infer. Okay, we got some types. Some types are mad. Pokemon. Right? Page. Deconstruct repo. Satisfies Pokemon. Is it just this? Does that make you happy? What do you return? Props. Type of get static props returns Pokemon any. Satisfies. So this still seems to think repo. Name Stargazer's count. Pokemon is an array. Pokemon is an array of Pokemon. What are you mad about? Fine. You know what? Let me see the context. Not that. That's fine actually. Context is not a valid NextJS entry export value. Why are you so mad? I don't understand. Pages. Oh, this is an index TSX file. Wait, pages / index. Page. Is it because it's a page file, it needs to be an index file? Index. Dynamic route segment. Yes. Folder. Well, then how do you... Okay. TSX. Not the layout. Take the page. Index. Paste. All right. Why do you still think it's any though? Satisfies. Repo. Satisfies repo. Pokemon. Did I spell Pokemon? Spelled it the same way. What am I missing? And oh, well, something like that perhaps. We still think it's any though, which doesn't really give me a bunch of confidence. That this is working like it should. Yes, I know you're upset. I'm still working on it. So the page layout then, I don't know what goes in the page versus in the layout. What goes in a page.tsx versus an index.tsx in a NextJS project? Different purposes based on the naming. Index typically represents the root page in a directory. Source pages would be the main entry point for the home page of your application. Defining specific pages within a directory. I want to use the get static props to SSR my page. Does it need to go in an index TSX or a page TSX page? Is used for static. Oh, get static props use static site generation, not server-side rendering. Ah. So it says you can still use it. Okay, so the static site generation, not for server-side rendering. You go on server-side rendering, get server-side props. So it does. All right, let's go back. Documentation. Get server-side props. Fetch data and render components at request time. And pass the data to the page as props. Behavior. Error handling, edge cases. Can you pass arguments to get server-side props? Oh, you can. Okay. So let's take what Copilot says. We're going to nuke the index page. We're going to take the page. We're going to paste this over it. All right. So get server-side props. Context is defined but never used. Last number, because we need Pokemon data species, Pokemon species as Pokemon array. Right, so we know this knows it's a Pokemon array. This, does in fact know it's a Pokemon array. Pokemon is not a valid page prop. All right, let's see if it's just bitching. Where are we? How are we doing? Okay, it's doing okay. Let's back out. Oh, goodness. Get server-side props. Page TSX10. Excuse me. Get server-side props is not supported in app. Okay. Damn it. Okay. So it can't be used at the root level. Is that the problem? That it's at the root level? No, but it's in SSR, right? So it's not at the root level per se. Get server is not supported in app. Building your application data fetching. Server actions. Okay, so we gotta read both of them. Down the rabbit hole we go. Data fetching and caching. Data fetching. This demonstrates a basic server-side data fetch. Okay, so so I was right way back like an hour or so ago. Because this is using asynchronous data, it's just like returning the it's just like running asynchronous data on a node server. So I was right. I'm not crazy. I'm going through a lot of work, but I don't think any of this is actually necessary. So I think we nuke both of those. We'll just quit out. Quit everything. Quit all. Quit all. Go back. Let's start this yarn dev. All right. Source. App. Okay, so we've got our CSR. That was painful. Oh, I wonder if that was the problem because it hadn't fetched yet. But after it does it the first time, it's already gotten it. I mean, so do we have to refresh the app? Do we have to like start and stop the app each? If I do it here first, it's fine. If I do it here, I get errors. But if I go back, close the errors, and go in again, I don't get errors because it's already been cached, so it already has the data. Okay, so I think the question though. Okay, so I think the excuse me. I think the server-side rendering is working. I don't know about the client-side rendering. So we're gonna have to see about that. I'm gonna take a quick break and I will be back. Alrighty. Oh, I guess I gotta turn my camera on, huh? Alright, I'm back though after a lunch break. Whew. Alright. Where were we? I think we had things mostly running in what I think is a decent server-side versus client-side rendering set. I do want them to render so that they wrap instead of just down in a list. Let's see. Class name. Ooh, my hands are so cold. Wrap, flex wrap. Is that gonna do it? So that'd be great. What is this in? CSR? I'm in CSR. Let's see. How can I make the list? Oh, you know, I probably need to give it a direct. It's a row. Grid auto. Row flex row. Nope. Back to ChatGPT. How can I make this list render in rows and wrap when it hits the end? Display flex. To make it list, have flex wrap and flex row, sensitive, so define correct NextJS files. Yeah. Flex direction row. Flex, display flex, which should be inherent. Oh. Okay. That's fine. And then as you make it bigger, good. All right, cool. So that's there. Okay, got that going. We have our Pokemans. Whoop. Oh God. Oh God. Go forward. Forward. There we go. And then this one, shrink that in. All right, so we've got our Pokemon cards. Let's do that for the other one too. This page, link, div, class name, flex row, flex wrap. Boom, boom, boom. Go back on here. Server-side rendering should also flex wrap. All right, great. So we've got these, and currently we are slicing 10 out. But I guess I want to get the, let's get those timers going first. So we have okay, so we are consistent now, and now we want to get the timers going. So the timers, I don't want an overly complex solution for timers. We just use state. I don't know, what does state look like in state in Next? React state, app state, NextJS. All right, so this is saying existed end. Great. I like it. It's Zustend, Zustend, however you say it. All right, so we're going to npm I Zustend. We're going to have app components. We'll make another one for store, timer ts, import Zustend, time store. Let's see. Clear time, export const excellent, time, number, set as implicitly any type. That's because it's done like there's an extra thing in there with Zustend. TypeScript, create. Oh, it's create from Zustend. Not Zustend. Create, time store, and then there we go. Okay, set. Now we are typed properly. Okay, cool. So we've got the time, clear time, set time. I want the time to be, let's do SSR time and CSR time. Clear, set, time, set. I don't actually need to set the time. Oh, I guess you need to set it in a regular interval. We could have 2 time stores. Maybe that's the move, actually. Just to have use So use SSR, CSR. All right, so we've got two different time stores, which will be fine. We need a provider, don't we? Create a store. No providers needed. Ballin'. All right, excellent. Okay, so we've got our time stores, and we want to say on app SSR page. I guess actually on the app page. See, and this is where I want an on click. Right here. Because the on click lets you proc other things. Hold on, I got a meeting. Okay, in 20 minutes we're good. Let's see. Oops. How can I add a timer to start? Timer in the Zeus and to start when I navigate to a given page so that I can track the first meaningful paint time. I already have this in. Oh yeah, I guess it's just set start time. That's a good point. Store set time. Start time. Clear. Okay. Oh, this is, oops. Hello? Where did it go? Oh, I guess this is it. Start performance now. Performance now? Start when the page is navigated to. Oh, so just do it on the page. I don't think that's right. This doesn't look right to me. I think we can actually just use the Chrome, things though. Lighthouse, analyze page load. Oh, I thought I got to click a button. As you can tell, I've used Lighthouse many times. $86. Large contentful paint, 4.2 seconds. That's a long time. Really? That's a really long time. All right, what happens if we go to, let's do server-side rendering. I don't want to exit this. Clear, go away, stop, add, page load, desktop. This page looks exactly like the original Lighthouse reports. Containing user actions. All right, let's try this. All right, so that's an SSR. I don't actually know when I clicked it though. What is part of the problem? Excuse me. So you can minify it, but we're running in dev mode, so I'm not really worried about identifying. Reduce unused JavaScript. Okay, that's fine. Network payloads, 85 kilobytes. Okay, so that's SSR. Refresh. Let's do it again. CSR. And time span. So it's, yeah, okay. Enormous. So this is 266 kilobytes versus 80 kilobytes, right? So it's a third of the size. Is that right? Did I get that right? Yeah, it's a third of the size on your payload. I mean, that is significant performance improvements. Let's be honest. Saving 66% of your size is huge. All right, let's see. Navigation. If I home, go away. If I click here and then I type analyze page load. Very good. Forward cache registration, but pretty good. 95, a 99 performance score across the bat. Pretty solid. All right. Let's try. Can I like print this or save it? Let's do that. Let's see. Print summary. I don't really want to save it as a PDF, but I guess we can. It's fine. Downloads, save. Where'd we go? All right. I'll do it again on client-side rendering. Yeah, with the errors, that's fine. Analyze page load. $95. All right, so how does this compare then? If we look at the downloads, download.pdf, what a name. All right, so here's the server side. Contentful paint, faster, definitely faster. And I bet, let's crank this up a little bit. All right, one thing we're doing is we're only doing 10 Pokemon. Let's do 151 Pokemon. Page, nope, it's in SSR, page, slice, take that out, right? Take that out, and then CSR, I guess it's technically in the API, but we don't want to slice. All right, so now we have many more. All right, so we'll do CSR again first. $65. Okay, much worse than it was because it had to go get a bunch of stuff. All right, print the summary. So this will be save as PDF. This will be CSR Lighthouse PDF. All right, and then we're gonna go back to localhost 3000. Go to SSR. We'll do this again. Page load. Page load. We'll see. All right, let me grab. Ooh, baby. That's actually a huge difference. Oh, Lord, look at that. That's huge. Blocking time, 0 milliseconds. 1 second, meaning largest contentful paint, 2.7 seconds. Speed index, 1 and 1.1. Is really the performance. Is this? No, it's just okay. Let's see. Reduce initial time. Okay. But remember, these are in dev mode. But even still, like comparing apples to apples here, it's pretty impressive to see how much faster server-side rendering is, right? So the server-side rendering got a 98 in Lighthouse, and client-side rendering got 65. I'm impressed, honestly. Accessibility, 95. Yeah, same accessibility. That doesn't surprise me. Except this accessibility, the bar is lower. Best practices, 96. CO's 100. And I guess it's because if you hover over this, yeah. Wow. Ain't that a thing? Okay, so if we build, I don't really need to deploy it, but I'm curious now about, so we don't actually have the timing store. That's fine. Let's see. So if I build the app and run it locally as opposed to, let's see, as opposed to like running the dev, right? So I say npm run build, right? Okay. Code 1, property params. Awesome. Pokemon page does not satisfy the constraint page props. Okay. Why are you going to do me like that? Pokemon card. When you do it, it links it SSR of the Pokemon name. The Pokemon name. It's our name. Params. Pokemon. Because that's PKMN is the slug. Right. So this is SSR Pokemon. So name is the slug. Yes, I'm not crazy. Pokemon. Yeah. I don't see what's wrong with this. I'm gonna be honest with you. It does not satisfy the user page prompts. Property params are incompatible. Pokemon strings mostly find properties from promise any. Okay, let's get the NextJS slug props. TypeScript. I love when you type TypeScript and then it never shows it to you. It's just like, yes, it's on the page. Well, you just can't see it because it's hidden somewhere. TypeScript. Does it need to be slug? For example, wrapping a folder's name in square brackets, folder name, for example, ID or slug. Yes, so it doesn't need to be. Does it need to be slug? That would be so dumb. Page props. Page props. You want to tell me what page props are? NextJS page props. In a page file, it works. Does it? All right, you know what? We'll try slug. We'll try it. Params. Oh, it wrapped. No wrap. I don't. PKM slug. 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 See if that actually does anything. Yeah, okay. Does not satisfy the constraint page props. Does it need to be? All right, we'll put it back to Pokemon. Not that far back. PKMN Pokemon. Right. Does it, because it needs to be interface page props. Somebody thought I saw it. Oh, come on, don't do me like this. App props. Gonna do the same shit. Params are incompatible. Excuse me. Okay, well, I have a meeting I need to run to, so go ahead and pause this, and we'll be back.